Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Conscious Living Spiritist Group. This is our Sunday morning meetings. We are a not-for-profit organization. Our mission is the dissemination of the Spiritist philosophy. I want to welcome everyone who is here with us today. Would like to welcome you who is watching us now live or perhaps at another time. We would like to start our meeting going over some quick announcements. We have coming up we need to find a better way to put these wires so we don't step on it. We need to figure out. So we have coming up a Spiritist conference of Florida by the Spiritist Federation of Florida, Jesus in Our Days. This is happening in April in Orlando area. It is our annual conference. It's an amazing event. We bring speakers from Brazil. This year we have Givaldo Franco, Laude Bueno, Denise Lino, and Alberto Almeida, who will be conducting a 2-day conference in the Orlando area. So not only it's kind of amazing content, but it's also an incredible opportunity to be together with friends from not only all over the state, but the country and from other countries. So it's a really incredible experience. We invite everybody to consider participating and going. This is coming up. I tried yesterday to get some more information about the course. But this is a course, Introduction to Mediumship, that is being organized by the U.S. Spiritist Federation. It's free. Soon registration will be open, and it is actually ran by speakers from all over the country who will be talking about different chapters from a book called Introduction to Mediumship. So stay tuned. Next week, for sure, I'll probably have more information. So if you're interested, you can partake on this or share the news. We have also here Conscious Living, some ongoing courses. This is one of them, the Spiritist Review, every second and fourth Wednesday. It's a course that's easy to join in at any time because those are articles from a magazine, so each class is a different topic. There's not like necessarily a sequence, and really fun course. Every second and fourth Wednesday, 6:30 via Zoom. We also have Genesis that happens every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. online with our friend David and Carlos, and in the realms of mediumship, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. This course, where are we with this course?
We're going to finish in 1 month and a half.
So it's about to end. The course will be hopefully coming up with something new very soon. Now let's get started with our opening reading for today from the book Happy Life, chapter 68. When you are ignorant about a subject, just say so. You're not expected to know everything. Honesty regarding one's limitations is much appreciated. Even when you are already informed about what someone is trying to tell you, listen patiently. It will give you the chance to compare it with what you already know, enhancing or rectifying it. People who come across as very well informed oftentimes have knowledge that is only skin deep. Listening is always profitable. Very quick passage reminding us of the art of listening. Things that very few people know how to do, because it's about listening with openness, listening with curiosity. And you can only do that if you come from a place that there's always something else to learn. Even when you're sure about something, that certainty is only your perspective. It's limited to where you stand, is your point of view or your viewpoint, right? There are someone else who is seeing the same thing from a different angle, and it might see aspects that you have not seen or captured. So the art of listening, the art of being open, the art of understanding that no one possesses the entire truth, that you always have something to learn from somebody else. Definitely something that we all have to think about, and there's incredible opportunity for practice and growth in this area. So with this, we are now going to our opening prayer for today. Okay. So please join me in elevating our thoughts and feelings at the time to say, Dear Father, another beautiful day, another beautiful opportunity to be alive in this planet, to learn, to grow, to be useful. Please help us all in this moment of prayer, of spiritual connection and growth, embracing us in your love presence. And please guide our friend Jana, who will be delivering the message of this morning. We are very grateful for the opportunity to be here or to be connecting with this message. And we ask you to please remain with us. Thank you, and so be it. Okay, so for today, we have our dear friend, Jana. She comes all the way from Fort Myers. She drove 2 hours and 10 minutes to get here this morning. She'll drive 2 hours and 10 minutes to get back to her home after the lecture. So it is with much appreciation and love that we welcome Jana to our meeting today to deliver the message. We just minimize this. We don't need you on there. Okay.
Do you mind if I just close so I can put my computer on?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine, right? Well, good morning. It's always nice to be here, and I am always humbled and happy, when we are invited, to be present. And I've been trying to do like coming in person, because I think that's, we can connect a little more deeply. The topic we're talking today, it's from the Gospel According to Spiritism, chapter 17, from the part of the Spirit's teaching. And it's duty. And then, the call for the talk was, duty according to Spiritism. In life, we all have duties to fulfill, whether it's in the family, in the workplace, educating our kids, or just when you are at the supermarket and then you encounter somebody and then things happen, and then we all have duties and we all have different ways of dealing with things. So today we're going to see what the Spirit tells us about duties, because it's going to be more focused about our moral duties, but it goes hand in hand with, all of the other things we do in life. I do believe that there is no way to make a good choice before we think of the consequences. Because I was just listening to Arthur Valadares on the way here. So I came listening to a few different things, to get attuned with the topic. And then he made a comment saying, if there was no consequences to our actions, what would the world be today or right now if all of us could do anything we wanted and there would be no consequences to the actions? And then that made me think, because I will include myself in this, for us that are already looking forward to do good things in life, to get better as a person and as a spirit, we would probably do good things. But there are people that their motives and, to actions are not so good. So coming back to the spirits, what they tell us, about duty. On the item number 7, it starts with, duty is an individual's moral obligation. So we have an obligation and duty as a human society. We have our duties within the family, but first we have our individual duty. And for all of us that are in different steps of evolution, our duties are according to what we are able to understand. And I love the opening message because it's like we all can hear the same message and then we understand differently. And I really like to talk about it, like when people bring their perspectives, because, Susanna may catch a point and then, I may get a different point. But when we come together and we're able to listen, it's kind of a little puzzle, coming together where we all benefit from it. I love to listen to podcasts, and I usually do when I'm working or driving. So I listened to a podcast this week. It was more towards business, but, we can use in our life. And I would say, it fits well with the topic today. And it goes with the opening message. So this guy said, whenever you go to a meeting and then, someone will be talking about a subject, if you don't know about, you say, I don't know anything about. But if you know, it's always nice to say, I do know, but I would like to hear how you do it so I can learn a different way or I can see from a different perspective. And that's what the message, this morning is asking us. And I would say this goes with fulfilling our duties. So first forward, this obligation goes towards him or herself and toward others immediately thereafter. Duty is the law of life, is found in the smallest details and as well as in the most elevated acts. And then the Spirit tells us, I want to speak here about moral duty and not the type imposed by the profession. So they're going to go into, what can we do and how can we actually fulfill our duties, because it can be so vague to talk about duties. Sorry, I talk with my hands. and then it says, in order of sentiments, duty is very difficult to fulfill because it's contrary to the seductions of self-interest and the heart. So what does that mean? Because we may have, wanting to do certain things, but is that really what we are supposed to do? Is that beneficial to us? Is that beneficial to others? But most important, is that beneficial to humankind? Because again, Spiritism is always bringing us, it comes from the little, the first society we live in is within our family, and then, school, work, and then all together. So it's interesting when it says here, it is very difficult to fulfill because it's contrary to the seductions of self-interest and the heart. So in the Spirit's book, I have 3 questions I want to bring to you guys. I believe it's 1922. That's 909. Sorry, I just gotta find the question. So going, with this topic, talking about the difficulty of fulfilling duties, it's not impossible. It's just, maybe a little harder for one person and the other. So it talks here about the seductions of self-interest. Because in life, how many times do we do things? Because there is always something hidden. We may get recognition. I may do something for you because I will get something in return. But in this case, it is that duty you will fulfill without any self-interest. So there is a question, 909, and the question is, could humans always overcome their bad tendencies through their own efforts? And the question is, yes, and sometimes with very little effort. What they lack is willpower. How few of you make such an effort, however? And then to go with this question, I have another question, which is 922, because it talks about happiness. Every time you fulfill a duty, so I'm going to pick you because you are a mother. I don't know your name. What's your name? Mary. So Mary has a little daughter, and I can assure you, every single day when she is able to fulfill her duty as a mother, she has a happy sentiment. And then maybe there are days that she feels a little off because she wasn't able, to give all that she wants to, and she knows she's capable of, but, for some reason, that day or that particular situation, she wasn't, so happy with. With fulfilling our duties come something that it's like our happy or, a peace of conscience. And I will tell you, last week, my conscience was not so peaceful. But between within my work and the things that happened, and then I was like, geez, it's like one thing after the other the whole week. So even my dad told me, because my dad's here, and he's like, you had quite a week. And then I said, well, Dad, it could be worse, so I'm happy. But after I was able to close one of the biggest problems in my work, and here's work related. The next morning, so of course, the same day I had like migraines, but then once I was able to resolve that problem, the next morning my migraines were done, over. And I was putting the pieces together because I had a peace of mind, because okay, here I got done, it's done. Whatever I can do, I will. If it's out of my control, then I have to let it be, and that's what I did. And when we fulfill our duties, there is a happy, that comes with the clear conscience. I've done all that I could, and if there is still things to be done, but it's out of your control, then it is fine. So the question 922, it says, earthly happiness is related to the position of each person, and what might suffice for the happiness of one would be misfortune for another. Is there, nevertheless, a common standard for happiness for all? And the answer is, for material existence, it is the possession of all that is necessary. For the moral life, it is a good conscience and faith in the future. So whenever we're going through troubles in life, and then maybe we're not so sure about what to do, or, our conscience is telling us, you should not take this route. But again, our passions sometimes are so strong, and, and we want to take that. Question 922 gives us the perfect answer. Happiness, material part is having the necessary. So we all hopefully, and, thank God, have a shelter. We are able, to eat every day, take care of our, basic hygiene necessities, and have work, a car. Even if we don't have a car, because there was a moment I didn't have a car and I would take the bus. I still had the bus. So I was grateful for that. So there is no shame in, taking an Uber, a Lyft, or a bus. Because at the end of the day, what matters is how you deal with what you have. And then a clear, the moral part is having a peaceful conscience. And then that will bring me to another question, which probably most of you know, because we all study, and I know you guys study. Because if we talk about duty and we understand, the Spirit tells us, duty is the law of life. So if it is a law, where is that law? How do we know? We study that all, the divine law is in our conscience. So question 614, where is 614? Goes from 20. Okay, 614. We are, on the chapter chapter 1, I believe it's the third part of the book, where it talks about the divine and natural law. And then 614, the question is, what is meant by natural law? Natural law is the law of God. It is the only law that is truly necessary for human beings to be happy. It shows them that what they should or should not do, and they only suffer misfortune when they depart from it. If we go back to the point where we are all in different stages of evolution, and then some people may see it more clearly than others, we do understand that these laws are in our conscious. It's within the spirit. I was listening to Arthur, and then he gave another example, which I believe I've heard in other people saying. Saying one time when Chico Xavier was at a meeting, and then somebody was complimenting, him, like praising him. You're the best, I don't know how you do all these things. And then he wanted to humble himself, and then he said, oh, who am I if not, a simply worm, or I don't know if verme in English. What is the correct translation? Worms? Yeah. And then Emmanuel comes, and talks to him. You should be respectful to the worms, because at the stage of the evolution they fulfill all of their duties. We, humans with a conscience, not always do. And I was like, ooh, because there are days, like I used Mary as an example, there are days we're able to do better than others. But the most important is always to restart from the point we left off. Spiritism, for me, it is that beacon of light in the middle of a big storm. Because it does not matter the phase we are going through, there is always a message that will bring us together. When you are during happy moments, it will reassure you of that happiness. When we are going through bad phases, it will reassure us you will come out of the situation. So no matter the moment we are in life, the message of Spiritism, it is always bring us that reassurance of the end of, certain times in our life. But there is also that reassurance of a next life. If the ones we love have passed on, and we are having a hard time dealing with, it reassures us that we can have contact with them right now through thoughts, through prayers. And then God is so good that he will probably give us other opportunities to be together again. I'm going to move on to the next part. When we're talking about fulfilling the duties, the moral duties, this Spiritist Center, I always like to think about the names of each Spiritist Center. And then the name of, Conscious Living. It is like really, fits in with today's message. Because I would say, just by looking at the name, the duty of conscious living is actually to make sure that all of you live a conscious, life. That your spirit is, although we are in a world full of, things that draw our attention off the path, but when we are here, we should live here with our conscious a little more open and, seeing what really is your duty as an individual and as a group. The Spirit continues to tell us, and it says, its victories have no witness and its failures undergo no repression. So it's talking about, every time we are able to fulfill a duty, it goes unnoticed. Because many of the things we have to do, nobody knows. It's like, are we a good spiritist when nobody's around? What do I do when no one is seeing or when no one is watching? And then our failures also undergo no repression. And if we think about that, I was coming, listening to a couple different things, and then I made my prayer, when I hit the road. And then I even, made a little statement to my guardian angel, saying, I know I haven't been, in contact so often, but I really appreciate you. Because sometimes we get so mixed in the duties of the moment that we easily forget what is really important. And when faithfully obeyed, the duty of the heart uplifts people. So how many of you each day have the opportunity to lift up, yourselves first, but then the people around you? Years ago, I remember I used to work with a lady. She passed away when she was 108, and I met her, she was 99 years old. So every weekend, she always had the same food. Like she had a schedule for, certain things. And then I would think, how can she eat every single Saturday the same food? But it was like, it had to be that. So I remember one Saturday going to the drive-thru of Boston Market, to get her food. And there was a huge line, and it's always empty. And I was surprised. I was like, wow, I guess they're picking up. But what happened was there was a new worker, and I could tell that she was struggling. Like she was about to cry. And I noticed that her co-workers, instead of helping her, were being hostile to her. And then I looked her in the eye, and, I had the urge, and I didn't. And that's why I remembered this. I had the urge of, just saying, are you okay? And I didn't, because I didn't want, maybe that she would feel like, what is this person, saying this? But I could see in her eyes how she was, so frustrated with that situation. So the only thing I told her, I said, it's fine, the line is huge, but who cares? It's Saturday. And then she was, she gave me a smile. But how many times are we in situations of, that the duties we have is actually to, acknowledge and see people around us that maybe they're struggling. it may be a very small struggle for that person, I mean for us, but for that person may be huge. And I have that in mind because after that, I became more conscious. Because I was like, if I see somebody that I can tell clearly that, you know, maybe they just need a smile or a good word, I will do that. And I've been doing that ever since. But I could, you know, just look at that lady and see, you know, her frustration. And then seeing the coworkers just, you know, mocking her, you know, it kind of broke my heart. And I guess I was able to notice that because in my line of work, I'm the one who has to make sure that everybody is, you know, following rules. And if somebody's lacking at a position, I have to make sure that they know what they're doing instead of just, you know, banging at them. So my part is, you know, you see that they're struggling and you help them out. And then my other work is, you know, making sure that the coworkers do the same. So I have a great team of people working, but it's humans. We are humans, and it's not easy. And so when we're able to fulfill our duties, that brings us, you know, that peace of mind. But how is such a duty determined? Where does it begin? Where does it end? So here's the Spirit's answer. Duty begins precisely at the point in which you threaten your neighbor's happiness or peace of mind. It ends at the limit you would not want to see surpassed regarding yourselves. So, with duty, we have obligations. I even made a note somewhere here, you know, saying that with rights comes duties. Because we all want to have our rights respected, but then there are duties that come with. And I have to respect, you know, Susanna's right or, you know, everyone else. So they give us the perfectly answer, you know, duty begins precisely at the point in which you threaten your neighbor's happiness or peace of mind, and it ends where you don't want people to surpass that. So that is a good point, you know, and I would say kind of easy to remember. When we are in heated moments, I think that just goes by. But I think we all are, you know, able to understand a little better. And within our families, I don't have kids, so I have not gone through those phases, you know, but I have a 5-year-old nephew, and I can tell that he is very challenging when he wants, you know, when he wants something, he makes sure that everybody knows that. And I'm thankful that my brother and my sister-in-law allows me to also be someone that can help educate the spirit. Because at the end of the day, we can see, you know, the personality, the inclinations towards certain things. And, you know, as a family, we have certain, you know, rules and goals. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. But who knows? But again, we do all that we can. There is so much we can do. If we have our clear conscience or, you know, peace of mind, it is already a good sign. How long do I have? Because I think I've been talking for about 30 minutes now. Okay. So duty is the practical summary of all moral speculations. It is the courage of the soul who confronts the distress of life's struggles. It is both strict and yielding, ready to adapt itself to diverse complications. It remains unbending before temptation. So, I will say, you know, about myself that I think under pressure, I work really good. I'm a little procrastinator kind of person, and I don't like that, but I am. But when I am in situations, especially with work, because that's when things can change from one minute to the other. I was away a couple weeks ago, and then something happened, and I'm like, geez, I'm like 600 miles away. There's nothing I can do. But I just told one of my girls, I said, you know what? You do what you have to do, and then we'll deal with whatever, tomorrow, because there is nothing we can do today. And sometimes in life we have to realize those moments when you just need to give a little step back to not make a worse situation, a ugly situation even worse. And with Spiritism, I think we are able to do that more in a civil manner. Meaning, sometimes staying quiet. So somebody told me last month, there is an expression in Portuguese, when you don't say anything back, it's like as if you are consenting that that's the truth. So somebody told me this at work, and then I said, not really. In my case today, I'm choosing to not say anything because I don't want to argue. Because the argument I was going to have, it was not going to solve any of the issues I needed. So I was like, I choose my peace over, being right. Because that's the thing. Sometimes we want to prove our point that we're right, that we fight. But if we just let it sit for another day, things will calm down, and then it's much easier to resolve. And that is also with, choices we have to make morally. There are things we cannot leave for later because it's necessary. But there are things, and I always think about Kardec. Being the only spiritist person in my family, I get judged a lot. I get, confronted a lot. And in the past, I would answer back. Nowadays, I just ignore, because then I remember Kardec, If they do not, believe in God, if they do not believe in the existence of the soul, if they do not believe in reincarnation, there is no point in just, fighting. And that's what I do now. And I'm pretty happy that I'm able to do that after, 15 years. But it's been, quite a 15 years. At the end of the day, it's not my duty to impose what I believe. So then we go back to, duty begins precisely at the point in which you threaten your neighbor's happiness or peace of mind. And because I don't want them to surpass mine, I will not do with them. And then duty grows and radiates under a more elevated form at each of the higher stages of humanity. Individuals' moral obligation towards God never ceases. They should reflect the virtues of the Eternal One, who does not accept an imperfect sketch because he wants the beauty of his work to be resplendent before him. So we are seeing in this message that the moral duties invites us to fulfill 3 points. One with ourselves, one with our neighbor, and with God. So in conclusion, because I'm going to end, I even wrote this as I was sitting on the parking lot. Because I had it in Portuguese and I was like, I gotta write this, my thinking in English now. So in conclusion, with the fulfillment of duties, we have 3 things in the universe that are coming together. So first, peace, inner peace, peaceful mind, or a peace of mind. So that's once we fulfill that duty, the moral duty, we have that peace. And then the second is to sustain the order in the divine creation. We are always working together towards sustaining the order. Can you imagine if today one of the planets on our solar system decided they were not going to spin, it would be a chaos. So in here on this earth, we are like little planets that have, duties to fulfill, and we're helping to maintain the order. So my question to you is, are you helping maintain the order, or are you helping to disturb the order? I just want to leave that question. And then number 3, to sustain the progress in the divine creation. If we look in the Spirit's book, the order of spirits, we have, first order, second order, and then first, second, and third order. We will see that each order has a level of responsibility. So the invitation today is that we all can go home and maintain, the peace, sustain the order in the divine creation, and also help sustain the progress. Meaning, let's do what we have to do so we are evolving and helping the one, next to us. And then just as a reminder, with rights come duties. So our duties are not transferable. We have a duty with ourselves, our neighbors, and God. So that's what I had for today. And thank you for having me. And thank you, Sue. I feel at home. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jana. I think this is one of the items in the Spirit's book that's the hardest one for us to understand and to practice. And I love the example of Boston Market. They're actually closing the Boston Market down the street here. It kind of took me to something that I experienced this week, where I went to the dry cleaner to pick up my jackets, my blazers for work, and it was supposed to be ready on Thursday, and I went on Saturday. And the woman said, "I'm so sorry, I had problems and it's not ready." And I was like, "Okay, no worry, I'll come back next Saturday because I cannot come anytime sooner." And she was so appreciative of my understanding. And in listening to you, I thought to myself, what if I really, really, really needed those jackets for this week? Would I have been so understanding? Because the problem with the duty, and that's what the Spirit's book says, is that it goes against our personal interests. So if the day that you were on the line, you were in an incredible rush to get somewhere, would you be also as understanding? So to fulfill our duty in seeing someone else and being compassionate towards someone else, we need to put our interests aside to be able to see someone else's struggles and empathize with that person where he or she is. That's why it's so difficult. So it seems sometimes so philosophical, but actually has an incredible impact on our daily lives if we think about really fulfilling our duties in every moment and every encounter, meaning treating every single person, putting compassion and love towards others, a lot of times against our own interests. So that's why it's so difficult, because the way we live today is we are at the center of absolutely everything that we do, and we have to have all the little planets spinning according to our pace of spin and where we are. And we want the world to adjust to us. So the invitation is, can you adjust to others, right? So thank you so much. Very powerful message. Let me reopen here my computer. I think I know the PIN number, maybe not. Yes, good.
Projector's off, so
that's turned off. Okay.
You want it on, or just check
this?
That wire again, yeah.
Oh, the wire?
Just
We
push that
need to
in that
figure
wire.
out the solution for this.
maybe I don't know, maybe tape the wire to
Yeah,
the,
well, I would do that. I'll do
yes.
that on this.
All right, but
On
still
my-
not. Okay, it's all right. We don't need that for now. We're gonna go to the second part of our meetings. If you're following us live, you can take this time right now, listen to the music, do your own prayers. If you have water at home, in your prayers, you can also ask for the water to be blessed and partake in this moment, or you can disconnect. We are going to do our prayer and ask at this moment the past givers to get ready for the work of passes. So let's just say, dear Father, bless us all at this time as we prepare to the work of passes, helping the pass givers to be connected to the purpose, the intent of these moments with their mentors and benefactors, and helping each one of us to be open, to be present, to connect to in our own prayers so that we can receive all the abundant blessings that are available to us at the moment. Bless us all at this time, and so be it. Dear Father, thank you so much for today. Bless all of us here on both realms of life. Bless our homes. May your loving presence be there, be felt in the form of peace and harmony. Blessing the environment where we live, but also helping each one of us to keep our inner homes, our minds, our hearts in peace, so that wherever we are, peace is always with us. In the moments of struggle and difficulty, help us to remember your loving presence. Help us to reconnect, to reach out, to our guardian angel, and to all the good spirits who are always available to us. We ask you to bless all the names that are silently put in the prayers at this spiritual center. There is not much that we can do, but you are love, compassion, mercifulness. And so we ask you to bless all the people who are in need, particularly the ones who are struggling with their own thoughts, with their anguish, anxiety, the people who are in darkness, the people who have lost hope. May the vibrations, may the goodness, may the thoughts and love and inspiration of this moment be taken to them as a sign of hope, as a little light that can be lit in their hearts, giving them perspective and meaning for the next day, for the next moment. We are very thankful for the blessings of this beautiful philosophy that helps us to navigate this world. And we ask you to continue to help us to seek, to commit, to restart as many times as necessary as we press forward towards greater consciousness and enlightenment. Thank you so much for everything, and so be it. All right, my dear friends, thank you so much for being here today. It's so sweet and nice to see everybody here on Sunday. We hope to see everybody again next Sunday. Jana, thank you again for coming all the way from Fort Myers to sharing the study with us. We really appreciate it. And have a great Sunday.